you look around the league, there's a lot of teams, in the hunt. We're in the hunt. You sit here and you say, hey, Thanksgiving, and close to the end of November, and we're in the hunt. When you sit around that table tomorrow, you're saying we're in the hunt. And there's a lot of teams that wish they were in the hunt. Well, we're in the hunt.
Hold on, I'm deleting the text I sent to Kyle and Sean where I said we're not doing a pod. I was going to say this no matter the outcome, and I'm almost mad they won because this is a good point. When the Bills were in their drought and they sucked, they weren't losing every game 42-17. There was some. Most of them were 17-13, and the reason it was so mad because you can point at like one Trent Edwards incompletion that would have made them win the game. This game, it's so much like that. Now, Baltimore is really good, I think, and the Bills are really good. So I'm not saying the Bills aren't good, but what I'm saying is football is stupid. Mm-hmm. And this game could have gone either way, and I can't take it. It's the In the Hunt cast.
Well, I'll tell you this. It's nice to finally win a goddamn one-possession game.
Oh, I didn't think of that. That's right. They won a one-possession game. And, little three-pointer. They didn't cover.
Yeah, and that's been just a talking point for a while now, and it's nice to finally win one of those games. This was, kind of a dumb game. Sometimes, because as you say, football's a dumb game, but you throw in weather, you throw in injuries, and it gets real dumb real quick. Oh, Greg's gonna give us a little tube in here.
Yeah, I thought it was
we're on YouTube now, so I had to close
shot.
The sun's in my eyes for the screen. I gotta look good for the ladies. Yeah. Hey ladies. Any ladies on the pod?
Oh Lord.
No.
Are you
yeah, first of all,
ladies, are you ladies in the hunt?
First of all, no. And second of all, I don't think that does anything for anyone.
Yeah, feel free to call the cops, ladies, anytime.
Yeah.
So
let's just do the trivia. I ruined this entire podcast.
I don't know where to begin. I'm sure Kyle has a lot of complaints.
I was ready to complain about how the Bills cannot effectively run the ball.
Yes.
But then they started to, and it made me mad that I couldn't say it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how I'm saying it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, no, a lot of it was Josh Allen. Singletary had an effective day. He had 11 carries for 49 yards. Josh had 11 carries for 70. But I almost feel like, and I know this is wrong and dumb because it counts, but I almost, when I say running game, like, I don't want Josh Allen to carry the ball 11 times. No, I know they weren't designed runs and it was a shitty rain day. And, was it the Tennessee game, he ran once or twice, if that. So I know it's not every game anymore, but I just, when I say I don't think the Bills run the ball effectively, I almost discount Josh Allen. I put that he's his own category of rushing.
But that's true. But I'm also glad they're just finally doing what works for them. Do you know what I'm saying? In a perfect world, yeah, we would have a better traditional run game, but we don't live in a perfect world. I mean, I do a podcast with Kyle Turner. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you just gotta do what life threw at you, and Josh Allen is good at running the football, and I'm glad. My one kind of slight Dorsey complaint so far this season is they haven't leaned into that. Josh Allen is good at running the football. I know you don't want to get him to hurt. I know you don't want to over rely on it, but sometimes you need it. He's good at it, so do it.
Yeah. No, I agree. And again, another couple third and shorts even today that, again, not a single quarterback sneak up until that last one to get the first down to run out the clock and kick the field goal.
The much better in the second half, obviously, but the short yardage situation all season has been garbage. And I think part of it is we got to talk about, like, I know it's not all his fault, but Zach Moss, I mean, and again, it's not all of his fault, because we got to stop using Zach Moss like he's the second coming of Mike Allstott, where it's just like 3rd and 1, put in the big boy. He's going to get that. Yeah. That does not work every time. Like, it's just crazy. Almost every time Zach Moss is in the game, they act like it's going to be this power fullback, huge move. And it's usually a 1st and 10 play for 1 yard or a 3rd and 2nd play for -2 yards. And that experiment has to be over. And I think the thing that probably hurts it is whenever James Cooks goes into the game, he acts like he's never played football before. And he gets like
That
2 plays.
guy, yeah.
And I feel so bad for him because he's like so snake bitten. He's like, I'm ready, coach. They throw him the ball and he immediately drops it. I'm sorry. Next time. I'll be better next game. And
he's like, trust me, I caught a lot in college. Remember that? Just go watch college tape.
I hope he turns around, but man, I think like the more he keeps doing that, he's running out of chances. I'm surprised. I mean, if it wasn't for how bad Zach Moss is, you wouldn't have seen Singletary with the fumble he had. You could just see Sean McDermott's face in the first half.
But I mean, despite the fumble, Singletary, the offense is better when he's in there.
Of course it is. Yes,
it's like night and day. He's better at running the football. He's great with yards after contact. He's great catching the ball. He's like reliable. His fumble, it needs some work overall, but it's night and day compared to the other two running backs.
Yeah. I have a boner play of the game that might be a first of its kind.
Oh no! Don't tell me a special teams play is going to be
God, no, ever,
okay.
not one, never in my life.
Whoa!
It is the boner play of the game is Josh Allen selling the hit that got the personal foul. I go back and watch that.
Yeah. That was
literally like a wrestler,
penalty.
like a wrestler taking a spear. Yeah. He flung his head back and flipped his legs up. Yeah. He sold it perfect.
He was getting a hit.
It was amazing.
I think that was, and you feel free to disagree with me, we're Bills fans, we're little homers, obviously, but like there was a little bit to me that seemed like that was cumulative of like, there was a couple, not bad no calls, but a couple close no calls. And I felt like, it's like, do that again, we're going to get you. And there was another kind of close one and they got him,
Listen, if I was a Ravens fan, you better believe I'd be like, this may have been what cost us the game. This is huge. They had just gotten, Deion Dawkins had just gotten a false start, so it moved them back 5 more yards. And then the next play, just boom, we get it all back and whatever. But at the same time, what I've learned as a newly successful franchise is what I'm saying here is you also just go, yeah, man, I don't know, do better though. It's what I said with if the Bills ever lost like that, especially in those 1-score games, I go, hey, it shouldn't be that close anyways. I go, you should win.
I want to take the perspective of a Ravens fan too. And I thought you were going to say this. So that, this game was 3 points. And if you're a Ravens fan, you'll point at little things and say, oh, we lost by field goal, but if that, the Bills would have scored a touchdown, like you would have to say, like the odds are they would have scored a touchdown, not a field goal at the end of the game. So it doesn't just hinge on one play. This game kind of like had a storyline to follow. I think the worst thing, if I was a Ravens fan, would have been that Lamar Jackson non-first down. If I was a Ravens fan, honest to God, I would be saying if Josh Allen ran it and stuck his arm out, the refs would have given him a first down, and they did not give it to Lamar Jackson. And I think that's true. That was a first down, and they couldn't reverse it just because of you heard if you were listening to the telecast, their expert on officials had a really good point. Like you can't reverse that because it's too tough to do. Man, that was a first down that cost them a timeout, and that cost them like that play was stupid. Now the Ravens held on every single play. And just go to Twitter and ask, was there holding on every single play? But there was a ton of holding in that game. And so there were calls on both sides. I will say that. So the Bills won an ugly football game with a lot of shitty mistakes by the officials.
A thing that must be driving Ravens fans crazy is, I mean, you had week 2, Miami, week 4, Bills, where you had these giant leads. I think the Miami game was at home too. And you just couldn't close them out.
Yeah. They said all game that or not all game, but as the Bills started to come back, that they're 0-5 in their last home games. The Ravens,
Yeah.
Well, Ray Lewis murdered a guy, so maybe that's it.
They're still paying for that.
They're bad karma.
Hey, what do you think?
Really
ours took 20 years to repay for OJ. Also, they got 20 years of bad luck.
Although, to be fair, it wasn't the scandal that Ray Lewis saw someone murder someone and didn't say
No.
anything.
Yeah, but
he
isn't
didn't do a
that-
lot to stop it. I don't know
Yeah,
what
no, I
happened,
think
but-
it was. I think the whole thing was his boys were there. Maybe they did it, but he was also there. So it's like an accomplice. Like,
Okay.
when Greg kills somebody and you and I help
If you don't
cover
stop
it up
me,
because we can't get a third co-host,
Yeah.
and we
What
need
a
this to
sad-
keep going.
What a sad. I feel like the judge would feel too bad for us to give us a big sentence. They're like, wait, you just did it because you didn't think you'd get another co-host? How many people listen to this?
Yeah, how many downloads do you have?
Sean's like, we just got 57 on YouTube.
Someone left a comment. It was, check out my fan site. It's a
And
spam bot.
And then we did.
Yeah. And now we got 59
subscribers, yeah.
That's right. That's your new co-host, is that fan bot. Just showing the bikini pics. Let's get it going. My boner of the play is Jordan Poyer's second interception.
Mhm.
Just back up a dump truck full of money to his house.
But
Just
did
do
you
it.
see?
Do it.
Did you see the reports? He went into the X-ray tent after the game. Well, who knows what happens? But he was being talked to by a doctor on the bench after he got hit after that.
I saw that they were
interception.
tending to him. Actually, my wife pointed
Yeah.
that out, and I had to
But
remind her, I
also,
missed it.
what made me feel a little better is they gave him like the post game. Here, take this. We're gonna post it to our social accounts. So
Okay.
he did the whole like, "Hey, big win, guys." I don't know what
Pay
athletes
me.
say, but
No,
yeah.
I know exactly what he said because I've been a Bills fan for a while. He said, "Big dubs, man, big dubs."
Big dubs.
he did the shout song really off key. Hey, guys.
He said,
We
"Now
won."
you schno."
Um,
Deion Dawkins had a bad first half.
He was
got
jumping
thrown
on. He
around.
was getting out early. I'm surprised they got him on one false start.
He was doing bad on run blocking. I don't notice things. I try and like watch the line sometimes. I don't normally like notice a lineman having a bad game. Every time I noticed like a negative play, he was kind of like, what's going on
here, that brings me to an interesting thing is like, so, the Bills are pretty good this year. But if we have Kyle will, wait till Kyle predicts the Steelers game. But pretty good this year. But if we have a weakness, it seems to be O-line, especially when the depth is challenged, which is what me and Kyle said in our season preview episode. We were worried about it, came to fruition. But do you finally kind of, I mean, you can only take what's available, but do you finally maybe do a trade before the deadline, see if you could get some offensive line help? I mean, you could probably send a third, a fourth, a fifth. I mean, we already have an extra fifth for Cody Ford, and it just seems like this is the year that, why you stockpiling mid-round picks if maybe a guard or a tackle backup even is someone that lifts you over the hump with how bad the run game has been in general.
Maybe they can sign someone who immediately gets injured and can't play.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I almost want to say, now I know the defense have been playing lights out, even today in the rain, but I don't know. I would still say I would go wide receiver, cornerback, offensive line in terms of what I would want to trade. Only off wide receivers, like we saw today, how fast we were down to. There were 3 active wide receivers,
which they didn't talk enough about on the broadcast. We were down to 3 wide receivers, and one of them was Gabe Davis, who is injured, and let's be honest, has been, as a James Cook start to the season so far. He's been bobbling a lot of stuff. So but the reason I wouldn't, if we're talking specific trade, is Odell Beckham is out there, so he is at least is an option that you can maybe go get. Whereas I'd be really interested to see if they do like even just a small depth trade this year when the deadline comes around in a couple.
If Isaiah Hodges isn't like healthy next week, just like I'm done with Crowder. Like I don't know, that's too many drops for me. He doesn't really excite me.
It was
I like
raining,
him better than
Greg.
I know, but I just want to see him get a chance to play. He's not a rookie.
Shakir had a really nice play.
You're being too much of a Bills fan of the drought. It's always the undrafted late round wide receiver that's going to turn everything right. He's the Stevie Johnson.
So you agree?
No,
You're saying it's
I
always
say
that
keep
kind of
Crowder.
receiver that will
I think
turn
Crowder
around.
had a rough game, but as Sean said, Gabe Davis had a rough game. He had a few drops. Stephon Diggs dropped a clean touchdown, and we're not cutting them. So I'm not cutting Crowder, even though he got carted off the sideline. So he might be cutting himself. But
he might have cut himself.
I'm not putting my money on Isaiah Hodgins.
I'm gonna give my boner play of the game to just a couple of Milano tackles. He had a great day. He tackled Lamar Jackson, which is a thing and not many humans could do, in ways that saved huge gains a couple of times.
And he also had a big stop on the goal line.
Yeah.
Not on 4th down, but on 3rd down.
I think that one tackle you're talking about, he almost didn't tackle him.
Yeah.
Like he was alone in space. He kind of flipped him around. It's almost like a miracle that Lamar Jackson actually got tackled. He's good. I wish I was not a fan of either team watching this football game, even though it was 23-20 and rainy. I think that would have been a really entertaining game. Well, I didn't enjoy it at all. Like I hated the first half. The second half was just tense.
How much did you lose your mind with that? Lamar Jackson spins out of 2 Bills defenders, throws up, I don't want to say a duck. It was a fair enough pass, but like bobbled by 2 different people. Sometimes like
Milano should have had that.
Yeah, that's a thing. When you see that, I almost go like, oh, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose every game we play for the rest of our lives. Like that's insane.
That is the type of play that you're just like, oh, this is just not going to go the Bills' way.
Yeah,
that's just how it's going to go. I'm glad
this game didn't go the Bills' way at all. It did not go the Bills' way.
I mean, they won.
Yeah, but I mean,
so nothing. A little bit.
Nothing was going their way for the entire first half.
Wait, Greg, are you wearing a bowling glove?
No, I got carpal tunnel. I got carpal tunnel in my wrist, and it's like flaring up.
Well, then why do you keep going to your other computer to do some typing? Is that part of your physical therapy?
I told you to stop writing books.
No, I was looking. I do have to stop writing books. I was looking at a stat thing for the Bills. I had no idea how many yards Allen had passing, and I'm selfishly wanting him to like lead the league in passing, but he had like 16 yards passing today. Like the stats were not good. I want Stephon Diggs to lead the league in receiving, but he only had 4 catches.
It's a solid game. Anyway,
I hope that wasn't a trivia.
What's it called? I'm glad you brought up how nervous you were or how much you hated at least the first half. And this is this is a rare instance where the Bills were playing terrible. The weather was terrible. It was 20-3. And I was sitting there going, well, at least there's built-in excuses. It's raining. There's some injuries still going on, Ed Oliver, Jordan Phillips still out, whatever. I'm just in my head, I go, well, it's not time to burn it all down. And I was okay with the Bills losing this game. I made myself okay with it because of those excuses. And I went, they're still not bad. And so I don't care.
The win almost feels extra better because in my mind, I already wrote it off as a loss.
Yeah.
See, I cannot get, I know what you mean. I kind of would have been okay. That first seed is so damn important this year. It's so damn close. And I do not want to play Miami in the first round of the playoffs if Tua can, breathe. I don't want to see any of these teams in the first round. I think it's really close. You want to see Baltimore again? There's no friggin' chance. I want a first round bye, and one of those teams is gone, and you don't have to. Or 3 of those teams are gone. You don't have to worry about it.
Here's the deal. Baltimore, I get it. I don't want to see Baltimore again. They just lost a close game with their full team at home in conditions that helps their team. They're a better running team than us by a lot, and they still have a great quarterback. I think, again, a full squad in a good weather game, that the Baltimore defense, at least so far through 4 games, is not good. And they would not scare me at all.
They don't have their full team. They're missing some big players on the defense, but
I didn't know that, so shut up.
It's okay. That was a big thing. That's why they're not as good defensively.
I want to. One thing I wrote down here is Kyle. Any Edmonds take from this game? There was 1 or 2 plays you go, Here's the Edmonds game, baby. Here we go.
Yeah.
And then a couple times where Lamar Jackson just burned by him like he wasn't even there. And you go,
What are
like,
you supposed to do?
yeah,
What are you
exactly.
supposed
So,
to do?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, you could pull a Milano.
Yeah, you
just
could-
try tackling him. I thought ultimately, I thought he made some decent splash plays, enough to be like, that was good. I believe he got in on a sack on one, which was big. I so far through 4 games, I believe there were 2 games where I said I thought he had a good game, and this was one of them. So I got nothing bad to say about him for this game.
Okay. Well, if you're both okay with it and you want to
Stop.
Move
The tweet of
on.
the game.
oh yeah, do the tweet of the game.
Okay. So this is a 2-parter because, of course, a guy tweeted something in the first half and then the second half, but also didn't delete the first half tweet. So I'm going to read the second half first. This is right after the win. Without a doubt, the Buffalo fucking Bills. And then in the first half, he tweeted, I'm going to burn the Bills shirt I'm wearing while I'm wearing it. So it sounds
like there was a doubt.
Oh, I didn't say this guy's. This game is Nando Calrissian.
Yeah.
See a blue check?
No,
But I like how you know that what that's a play on, right?
No. Oh, he's being like sarcastic that he's like never a doubt, even though he tweeted.
No, I'm saying you know what his name is a play on.
Oh,
Star
no.
Wars.
Star
Lando
Wars.
Calrissian.
That's
Oh.
Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
So this guy's a fucking listener of our podcast, probably. Son of a bitch.
What? Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, man. You think we got cool hot guy listeners? No, we got guys with subtle hints to fucking Star Wars in their Twitter bio.
Do you know what could have been the tweet of the game? But I didn't do it because I didn't know when who's the little receiver? Isaiah McKenzie got hurt and it was a concussion.
Yeah.
I wanted to tweet something about McGruber and the Dolphins coach saying like, oh, he's fine. We watched McGruber on the plane and he laughed. And I had like fun this week just talking about how stupid that was. And when he got concussed, I wanted to tweet, they're getting McGruber loaded into the DVD player in the locker room, but I didn't do it because concussions aren't funny.
That's true.
Yes.
Unless the
Greg.
Dolphins fuck it up. I don't want Tua to be concussed. I was going
to say, let's stop talking about the game. There are 2 quick things I want to talk about before we get into the trivia portion. And one is the And one,
I don't care.
one is the Tua situation, which is, I mean, we talked about it in the Miami game. I'm an easy mark. So when they came out and said it was a back, I'm like, I could see it. I've had a back problem before, but like, it's insane to me that he played in that Thursday game. And
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's sad too with how my NFL watching brain works that I'm like, well, if it was Sunday, maybe, but in my mind, Thursday's Thursday is unthinkable. And the fact that he played and you just know, you're like, man, this isn't going to end well. And just insane from the Dolphins' perspective. He's the face of your franchise. You're 3-0. Your backup is serviceable. Like, don't play him in that game.
Yeah.
And it's so sad, you know.
It was so funny. The initial reports obviously came out that it was his back, like you said. And you go back and watch. He never touches his back. He never grabs his back.
Yeah.
When you get hurt at any body part, you immediately go towards it with your hands or something. You grab it, you look at it. If you hurt your shoulder, you grab your shoulder, elbow, hand, knee. You immediately grab it.
I'm always touching my penis because I hurt.
Well, it's always recovering. This guy fell, hit his head, immediately grabbed his head.
Yeah.
Immediately grabbed his head, got up, fell again. Not once did he go, my back. You ever see when old people hurt their back? They immediately put their hand on their back and they bend over. This guy didn't touch his back once. He touched his head immediately. Yeah, that doctor, I'm a better doctor. But I say that about most doctors.
They were fired, that team that from that game.
Yeah, well, they should release his name so we could Frankenstein his ass.
Oh,
burn him in a wheel. What is it called? Windmill.
A wheel mill? What's
What's,
happening?
Where did Frankenstein? He went into a thing that it has the big wheel on it.
Oh,
Are you
I
thinking
get-
of Wicker Man?
No, Frankenstein. They chased him up into something, and then they burned the
I guess it's a windmill.
structure. Yeah, it's kind of like a windmill.
Okay.
Okay.
I gotta reread Frankenstein then. It's been a while.
No,
It's been a while since I read Frankenstein. Sorry. Thanks for setting that up for me, Kyle.
Yeah, feel bad for Tua. I don't think he's elite yet. I thought that talk was a little overblown, but he's a solid quarterback. Seems like a nice young man, and that was just insane.
I think it made this season more interesting. So I had dinner last night with a friend named Dan, who is a Dolphins fan.
Mhm.
And I will tell you, this is like the state of Miami. This dude will talk shit. Like he'll go out in Buffalo and talk shit about being a Dolphins fan. It was subdued. Like it was, yeah, my team messed up. It wasn't the Dolphins beat the Bills. It was like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. I mean, I had a similar thing with Jeremy, who's been on the show, a part of our AFC Least podcast a couple years ago.
Love those. We got to bring that back, especially since the Bills are still good.
Yeah, I know. Now where it's a different dynamic. But yeah, if you feel bad for those Dolphins fans. I also wanted to briefly talk about I can't believe anyone is mad about the Dorsey clip. I feel like
I thought it was great.
I feel like I saw a lot of things on Twitter. I think even Kyle Brandt didn't like it. They were saying it was people were saying it was unprofessional and blah blah blah. And I just that type of reaction kind of blew me away.
I didn't know there was a lot of negative reaction. I know he like talked about it and saying, that's not me. I talked to the team. That's fine. But I loved it.
Yeah.
Like, what are you supposed to do? You're an offensive coordinator whose team just like screwed up at the end and didn't win the game. What's he supposed to do? Oops.
Yeah. You get up, you shake hands, you call your grandma and you talk about it.
Okay. Hey, Gammy.
That's what I do.
It is crazy. Like we were watching the game here. We were talking about how like you have one type of coach who's like Ken Dorsey, and then you have other type of coach like McDermott and Leslie Frazier. Like Poyer makes that interception, you show Leslie Frazier like, yeah, pretty good. And you're just like, that's almost weirder to me. I'm like, you just trained to never have any emotion.
Yeah, it'd be weird being a defensive coordinator. Like even if you're good, no one cares about you. And I like that Leslie Frazier's still here. I'm glad he didn't get another coaching job because I think the defense is good. But as good as you are, you're never getting as much credit. Look at Buddy Ryan. Like Ditka gets all the credit for the 85 Bears. It's all Buddy Ryan in that defense. So defensive coordinators are never getting the credit.
You know why I really liked it? His outburst. It legitimately only because NFL teams are dumb and ran by some dumb people, I believe. Not all of them, but a lot of them. That may cost him another year of a head coaching job.
Oh, that's
they're going to be like, well, this guy can't control himself in the booth calling plays. What's he going to do when he has to control every facet of the game? What's he going to do that on the fucking sideline?
Yeah, I never thought I'd say this before, but interesting, Kyle.
They're not. He wouldn't be leaving this year. I mean, if the Bills do really good this year and the Bills offense does really good next year, it's Josh Allen, but he's not getting a job.
This is what I somewhat agree with you, Greg. But look at the McVay tree. Once people are like, oh, he's good. Assistant coaches, coordinators just started flying off his staff every year. Everyone wants part of the McVay tree. And it's going to happen here.
Yeah, especially with the success with Daboll there in New York with a pretty bad team. Like, the tree seems like it's going
to start happening, man. It's going to start happening. So get used to one-year coordinators.
Giants won today. They're 3-1.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the question game before we do trivia. We always have
I just pulled up the Giants stats and their quarterbacking. They won 20-12 against the Browns. This is worth it.
It's the Bears.
Jones, against the Bears. Jones went 8 for 13 for 71 yards. Tyrod Taylor got into the game, was 1 for 3 for 11 yards. Barkley ran for 145, but that's a friggin'
Did you see now on Twitter that Daniel Jones got hurt, came out of the game, Tyrod came in, he got concussed, and their third string quarterback was Saquon Barkley, and they started running the Wildcat.
I had no idea that happened. I just
I
read
also-
the stat line. Okay, so that makes a little more sense.
And
When did they start running that? I'm gonna look.
And poor Tyrod, man. Like you just he's so injury prone. I just want him to play a couple games.
They played 2 offensive possessions, like their third last offensive possession on which they got a field goal. That's when Taylor went out and Barkley came in as quarterback. And then they had 2 full possessions where Barkley was wildcatting, and it looks like they actually, they had two full possessions of that. That's
Damn.
Hey,
incredible.
man, Barkley's still good. You know what he'd look really good in? A Bills
uniform.
uni.
I hear that talk. Like
Send
is
a
that
third
some-
over there.
What is
No,
it? Is that a
I-
contract year or something? What's going on?
Yeah. I
Who
don't know,
gives
bro.
a fuck about running backs? Get
You
get
just
O
said we
line.
needed a better running
No,
back.
I said I
didn't
need
you?
better O linemen. I never said
Oh.
I don't care. I mean, I'd take them, but I don't care.
I love it.
okay.
Yeah, we were just talking about bringing the big guys. That guy could run over 6 horses, and I've seen him do it in Mexico.
Oh wow!
Wow, Mexican
Surpri-
horses.
Surprised you didn't bring that up earlier. Okay, here's our blurb from Thomas Mulcahy, our number 1 Patreon patron member. Thomas Mulcahy says, "If only the Bills could win 1-score games." And
Did he send that to us early or something? Thomas, come on, stick with the end.
And our jersey on the line today. Get yourself a nice new pristine Xavier Rhodes jersey.
Never been. It's all squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean. It's his jersey. He sent it to me, and I'm going to send it to one of you too.
He said, "Here, Sean, I won't need this."
We got 3 questions. Question number 1, we'll start with Greg. Greg, what number is larger? Josh Allen rushing yards this game or amount of countries in Africa?
There's a lot of the big countries there that take up a lot of space. I'm going to say there are 47 countries in Africa, and Josh Allen ran for 56 yards.
Okay, so you're going Josh Allen. Kyle, to you.
I looked at his passing yards. I did not look at his rushing yards, so I don't know.
I have the advantage
Map
of
of Africa.
knowing his rushing yards, but I also don't know how many countries are in Africa.
I thought you were
but
going to say you had the advantage of seeing Africa when you were in the Navy. Did you make it that far?
No,
Okay.
I didn't. I mean, I made it further,
Okay.
but we
It doesn't
weren't really at war with them.
Okay.
So Osama wasn't there yet. I think I've read on Twitter that Africa has like 100 countries. So I'm gonna go Africa.
Who are you
Okay.
following on Twitter that's tweeting about African countries?
You know what? I know who he's following.
Random tweet.
I know who he's following. It's wronginfo.com.
No, it's that Lando Calrissian guy.
Greg, you get the point. Josh Allen, 70 rushing yards, and the amount of countries in Africa, 54.
Oh, I was only 6 off. Okay.
Yeah.
Close.
So
The dogs
this.
are about to bark.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm excited for this game. This is a new wrinkle.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask
Damn
this
it.
question.
This better not be what I think it is.
No, it's not. It's not. This
He
is
said new wrinkle.
new wrinkle.
Yeah.
This is fun. So we'll start with Kyle. What number is larger? Devin Singletary rushes. Devin Singletary rushes this game, or state capitals Kyle can name in 30 seconds.
Okay. This is
So
interesting.
you're gonna guess, and then afterwards you're gonna put 30 seconds on the clock, and we're gonna see how many state. So it's Devin Singletary rushes this game, or state capitals Kyle can name in 30
man.
So
seconds.
first he does the state capitals thing.
No, because we're gonna do it after. So
Okay.
yeah.
So first you guess the state capitals.
No. First you guess which
Oh,
one,
I
which
meant
number is higher.
the
Yeah.
attempt. Okay. What's
Yeah.
higher, Kyle?
Man, Singletary rushes. I'm gonna try really hard, Greg.
Okay.
I have to go Singletary here. I want to win.
Okay.
I don't win trivia very often, so I'm going to win because he could just throw it. He could be like, "Oh, Bismarck," and
Yeah.
just like not.
No,
So
I'm
you-
not gonna throw it. I want to win.
So you're
Okay.
you're both
Why not bet on yourself then?
I'm not dumb.
So
I mean,
I'm not-
technically, I'm dumb. but I'm not ignorant. I don't know the word.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
so
just gonna name cities.
Okay,
though. I don't know if they're.
I'm gonna put
capitals.
30 seconds on the clock. When I
Okay.
say go,
Okay.
you're gonna start naming. I'm gonna keep count, and I'll let you know when your time's
I'm
up.
changing my bet. I'm betting on Kyle.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, go
Changing
ahead.
your bet. Okay. Ready, Kyle?
Yeah.
Go.
Wait.
Okay. What?
I don't have to say the state, right?
No, just the
Okay,
city.
just the city. Okay.
Okay, now I like
Ready?
my chances. Go.
Here we
Okay,
go.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. Albany, Philadelphia, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Des Moines, Salt Lake City.
Why did I do this?
San Francisco, the whole Bay Area, Jacksonville, Tampa, Miami, Charlottesville, Nashville, Greenboro, Richmond,
Your
Virginia.
time's up. Your time's up.
It said Philadelphia.
Is it? What's the capital?
It doesn't matter.
Allen?
You said the state.
Oh, did I? No, Philadelphia.
Oh, that's a city. That's right.
What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Oh, I screwed up. I was thinking
Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
My-
Oh boy, now laugh at me. I'm stupid.
But my favorite thing is, he was
The whole Bay Area?
The whole Bay Area. Well, I had you marked out for 3.
Oh, you got 3.
I got
Albany?
Albany, Salt Lake City, and you said
Oh,
another
Salt
one.
Lake City
I
is
said-
the capital.
I think
didn't
Fort
know that.
Worth, right?
No,
Isn't that
that's
no.
Austin. You said
Yeah.
another one in there that I gave you
The
credit.
whole Bay Area.
Was Richmond, California one? Not, I mean Richmond, Virginia.
Well,
Yeah.
the Singletary had 11 rushes, so you were
yes,
much
I knew that. And
you were
I
much
knew I
under
was gonna
that,
get to
and so Kyle, you get the point. It's tied 1-1.
Isn't
into-
Sacramento in the Bay Area? It's the capital of
that only
California.
gets me to 4.
I can't believe I confused Pennsylvania and Philadelphia. My mind
Yeah.
is-
What a fucking idiot.
I am an idiot.
But I do
That's
love
my
too.
Twitter
You started
description.
hot. You're like Albany, and then you're like wrong. The other, I thought you'd have a couple kind of ready to go, and not the case. Question number 3. This is for all the marbles, though we do have a tiebreaker if necessary. Which of the following does Josh Allen not follow on Instagram?
Shit.
Is it A, Manti Te'o? Is it B, Russell Wilson? Is it C, JJ Watt? Or is it D, Aaron Rodgers? One of those people he does not follow. Who is it?
Who goes first?
This goes back to Greg. You're first.
Okay. I'm gonna say JJ Watt. He definitely follows Aaron Rodgers. They did the whole golf thing. That would be like a story if it didn't follow him.
Mhm.
Manti Te'o with that documentary thing, I can see someone being interested in that. I don't remember who the second person is. It doesn't matter. I'm
Russell
gonna
Wilson.
guess. I'm gonna guess Watt. Yeah.
Okay. Kyle.
I think again, Greg nailed it with Aaron Rodgers. I think he follows JJ Watt because I think when JJ Watt was the best defensive lineman in the league, I think Josh Allen was in his formative years and would want to follow him. And who's the other big one? Oh, Russell Wilson. I think an active court. Same thing. Russell Wilson's winning Super Bowls in 2012. Josh Allen's in high school, I think, maybe. And I think he's like, yeah, I want to follow, the Super Bowl winning quarterback. Now, Manti Te'o, although good at Notre Dame, I don't know if you're following the best middle linebacker in the country. And he's not close to Notre Dame. And then the whole story, like, I don't think you follow that guy. So I don't think he follows him after the documentary either, because if you watch the documentary, he still comes off a little like he was in a cult. So I think he doesn't follow Manti Te'o.
Okay.
Well, you are both wrong.
Wow.
And
Son of a bitch. I
get-
gave real good thought.
Get ready for a shock. I just double
Aaron
checked this.
Rodgers. He doesn't follow Aaron
Doesn't follow
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
How many
Don't
people does he follow?
I like around
100?
700.
So, oh, wow. You went through 700 people?
Well,
No,
you
you
could-
can search,
Right.
Greg.
You can? Okay. So let me see if Kyle follows me. on this.
all right, we got to
Dude,
go to
that's
the
why I knew your dog was dead.
we got to go to the tiebreaker. How many countries are there in Europe? So I want you to think of an answer. I'm going to do a countdown, and you're both going to say your answer at the same time. So
Okay.
give you a couple seconds. Think. How many countries are there in Europe? Do you have a
Right.
locked in answer? Greg does. Kyle, do you?
No.
Okay. Get one.
Get one.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
17.
I said
17.
23. He said 17.
Greg, you win. It's 44.
Wow. I've never been there. I wasn't in the Navy.
Wasn't there either.
Oh, that's Kyle's problem. The boats can't get up.
Yeah.
He can go around and he
No.
can count 17
You're
on the
thinking,
outside.
no,
But
different,
then there's countries in there too. You needed to be in the
different
Air
war,
Force.
Greg.
You needed to be in the Air Force. You got to land somewhere. You can't just, you got to stop and eat.
Well, congratulations to
Damn.
Greg for the Xavier Rhodes jersey. That was a fun trivia game. But now we have to preview the big Steelers game. We're home for the Steelers. It looks like Kenny Pickett got some
I think
snaps
he's
there.
playing. I think he's playing.
I don't think it's going to be a Trubisky revenge game. I think it's going to be Pickett.
Mhm.
Although you don't know, maybe he goes back to Mitch for the
He's
for
very
the-
old school.
for the veteran presence. I
Mike
bet.
Tomlin is definitely going to not announce the starting quarterback.
Yes,
until
I was
Sunday.
just going to say that. I was just
There's
100%
no
going
chance
to
Mike
say
Tomlin
that.
announces who's
Yes.
starting at quarterback.
I
And
agree.
that's bad for the Bills because, if he announces one, obviously it's like, okay, we need to watch some Pickett film. They got lots of film on Trubisky, so that'd be advantageous. So I think it'll be Pickett, but you won't know until Sunday.
Well, I mean, the Steelers are pretty bad this year.
They almost won today. But they lost to the friggin' Jets.
The Jets, they played the New York Jets. But we still need a key to the game. Kyle, what do you got for us?
Well, the good news is I texted Tomlin. I said, hey, dude, I got a segment coming up and I didn't prepare. I'm going to need you to tell me who's starting at quarterback. And he said, pick it, motherfucker. So I said, okay.
So you get to pick? You get to pick who plays?
No, he said Pickett.
Oh, Pickett.
His last name is Pickett.
I thought he was telling you to pick it.
No. Greg.
Because in that case, go with Mason Rudolph.
I do like that he called you a motherfucker though, because Which Tomlin, I still have a little bit of chip on my shoulder for that time. I don't like the Steelers, Roethlisberger, etc. Tomlin tried to trip a player on the field one time, but I do think Tomlin is probably the best head coach of my lifetime. Like, he's really good, and he didn't have Roethlisberger is a very good QB, but he's not a Brady, he's not a Peyton. Like, he consistently got results with a very good QB and, as we saw in the last couple of years, not very good QB play.
It'll take 5 years of Belichick without Brady for me to say he's not the greatest coach of all time. Like, there's just you just can't do it. He won all of the time.
I get it.
I just don't like when coaches are too serious all the time. And Tomlin, I want to be like, dude, relax.
I agree.
Fucking lax. You're not the toughest man in the world, and you can smile. It's okay.
I had a tweet about Tomlin I thought was going to do well. It didn't. It was like, Mike Tomlin always looks like my dad looking at my report card. That's his face constantly. It went over just about as well on his podcast as it did on Twitter.
I think we should edit that out. Maybe come up with a better tweet and we can.
No, we should edit in laughs. Can you get some laughs?
Yeah. Well, maybe something like I think it needs to go more like obscene. Like Mike Tomlin looks like how my dad used to look at me when I was jerking off.
Okay.
But you say that about every joke.
Yeah,
it always involves your dad watching you jerk off.
It was my childhood. Sorry.
And also, that's not at all how my dad looked when he looked at me when I was jerking off. It was nothing like that. It doesn't so the joke doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I mean, he did.
It was more like with his arms crossed, proud, like
a little thumbs up thrown in.
Yeah.
You do the Bauch stroke just like you did.
Yeah. He's getting that knuckle in there. All right, I'm proud of my boy.
Okay, so Tomlin texted you. It's gonna be Pickett.
Yeah, we gotta finish this.
Pickett is starting. Yeah. So Pickett, I don't know if you guys know this. He's from Ocean Township, New Jersey.
Oh, that's the capital of New Jersey.
Shut up, is it? No, it's not. Okay.
Bismarck. Just keep saying Bismarck. I have no idea.
That's another thing we forget is Greg gave Kyle Bismarck, and Kyle's like, I'm not gonna use that.
Okay, so he's from New Jersey. Now this one's going to be a little tough for people to do, but it's a Bills win. You got to do it. So what are people from New Jersey? What do they care about?
Okay. I know this one. They care about Bon Jovi,
Yes.
Bruce
Tanning.
Springsteen,
Bruce
Yeah.
Springsteen,
Tanning.
Tanning,
Mhm.
yeah. The Devils.
No, they
Oh,
don't
the
care
New
about
Jersey
Devils.
Devils. I thought just the Devil. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe the New Jersey Devil. That's a
Um,
thing. The Sopranos, boys.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Great show, of course.
So here's what you do. It's a home game, so we have the capability to do this. Kenny Pickett comes out on the field for warmups. What are we playing?
The theme song.
The theme song. He gets all caught up in, he gets all caught up in it.
Mm-hmm.
He goes back, puts on the first episode. He's like, I'm just going to catch a few episodes before the game starts. Little, you can't watch one Sopranos.
No.
And all of a sudden he's like, first season done. What a great show. And he looks up, he's like, it's 6:30 at night. Did I miss the game?
Yeah.
And then someone comes in, they whisper, go, Sopranos sucks.
Oh wow.
And then he kills himself.
Oh,
Sorry.
geez,
That got heavy. That got heavy.
Like,
Maybe the
M. Night
last part didn't
Shyamalan
happen.
twist right
Yeah.
there. Didn't see that
Sopranos
coming.
stinks. Anyways, that's what you do. You
So,
play the
and
theme song, he gets caught up.
And maybe just to be safe, you have a little plate of gabagool waiting for him.
Yeah.
And
Is that a food? Is that an actual food? Is
Yeah,
that what that
it's
is?
capicola.
Oh.
They call it
It's just-
gabagoo.
They call it gabagoo. Okay. I never knew what that was when people said it. I thought it was just like a gabagoo. It's just something you say.
No, I believe I'm a 99.9%
I channeled
sure
Dan.
it's capicola.
I channeled Dan Fisher.
well, I think that's a good idea. I think we should all watch more of The Sopranos.
Yeah.
And
It's
and
a
miss the
big
football game.
undertaking, though.
Yeah.
When you're like, it's the same reason why I don't want to rewatch Game of Thrones. Is I go, do I have 150 hours or whatever it is to get reinvested? No.
Well, I
their
think
defense is still good. I think it's going to be an ugly win.
Oh, you think ugly win? I mean, I could follow that if Watt was playing, but without Watt, I mean, they struggled against the Jets. They've just looked kind of lost all year. They're on the road. I think the Bills go back to a blowout win, and I think it is 38-3.
Yeah, I looked at the weather. I texted Mother Nature. It looks good. It looks good.
Yeah.
And no rain. But Kenny Pickett, you don't know. He's going to do the fake slide thing again that he did in college. And
every
single play.
And they'll never catch up to it.
And Sean Murphy just said that the Sean Murphy on the bottom here just said that Mike Tomlin's the greatest coach that he's ever seen in his life.
I think he's a really good coach.
And I don't think
pretty hot.
I don't think you can
looks like Omar Epps. One of them.
He does. Yeah. I just don't I think Najee Harris is really good, and Pat Fryermuth. I think Edmonds has to have a comeback down to earth game. So I think the Steelers squeak a victory out 49-10.
The classic Kyle pick. You know what is a great thing that has changed recently, speaking of the tight ends, is do you remember during the drought and even tail end of the non-drought where every game you'd be like, oh, they got a good tight end, he's going to get 200 yards receiving, and that hasn't happened in like 2 years. Like
unless we play the Chiefs.
Well, but I mean, in general, like,
no, you're right. You're right.
Andrew Spray had like 40 yards
those
or something.
articles. I remember reading those articles that were like the Bills are the worst in the NFL against tight ends or over the middle of the field or some shit.
2 players, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, like changed a lot of that. They're really good, and ever since they got to this team, the defense has.
I mean, okay, so Poyer goes for an X-ray after the game. No reports yet, as far as I know. If he's out, do your scores change? I mean, he comes back, he misses the Dolphins game. And again, arguably, the Bills win that game if even Jordan Poyer plays. Now, I think Miami's way better than Pittsburgh. But he's clearly a game changer. The man had 2 picks today.
Yes.
One was all on him.
Yeah.
One was a tip
100%.
ball, but that one where he sprint across. If he can't go, are you changing your score?
No,
they have some pretty good wideouts.
I think it's a big deal, but you got to remember, I think even if you lose him, you get back Annette Oliver maybe. Like I think there's some big people maybe come back to offset it a little bit, although it doesn't seem like he's at all ready to come back, but this is week 5 where Trey White could come back. It doesn't seem like he will. It seems like he's going to get more time because we haven't heard anything about it, but who knows?
Yeah. I'd like to see Ed Oliver come back and play football and just see how good this defense is.
They said he practiced
That's what I'm
the
saying.
last 2 weeks.
I think he looks likely for this or the
And Trey White could not practice. Like he could not practice until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Also,
it'd be amazing if he played.
Sean, from earlier, we were speaking of Jordan Poyer, and I said he did the video for the Bills thing, and I said, I don't know what he said. And you said, well, knowing an athlete, he said big dubs. He tweeted 9 minutes ago, big dubs.
Big dubs. that's like a lot of the Bills do that, but Poyer especially. I feel like if you had a Poyer like doll where you pulled the string, it would only say big dubs.
Also, live update. Obviously, Mac Jones is out for the Patriots. Brian Hoyer was out. He got a concussion, so now they're down to their third stringer, Bailey Zappi.
I feel bad for all these concussions. And by the way, just to finish the joke, the Poyer doll would say big dubs, and then you pull it again, it would say, I don't know about this vaccine. My wife has some good points about this vaccine. I think it could be doing more harm than good. Those would be the three
cord you pull. Yeah. All right. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's the end of the episode. As always, sign up for the Patreon. A lot of good stuff up there.
I freestyled rap on our last Patreon.
That's true. You
and
do
it's
a little
so damn good.
It's
definitely, as the kids say, fire.
It's definitely not, but you do a little Cole Beasley freestyle rap. Follow us on
freestyle rap.
Oh no. Follow us on Twitter. We're getting close to 1,000 followers over there. That's fun. Subscribe on YouTube. Yeah, full episodes are on YouTube now. Some
1,000 followers where?
Twitter.
Oh, nice.
Of course, you could email us at inthehuntcast@gmail.com. Any of you guys got anything personal you want to plug here?
No, you better. No, we're done.
Okay, we're done.
Kyle, Sean, you can plug your trivia.
No, I don't want to play. It's half over. You could listen to my comedy special on YouTube though. You could do that.
No, watching the hunt. Okay, we're done.
But I forgot to say my comedy special ends with Greg freestyle rapping. I bring him on stage. He does a little freestyle.
I tour with you across the country, and at the end of every show, my name is Greg, and I'm here to say Sean Murphy's funny in a major way.
God, it makes me so embarrassed. The awkwardness I feel when you do that is insane.
I love it.
And it's not even me rapping. Like I don't have anything to do. It's clearly not. There's video evidence that I'm not doing that, and I still get uneasy.
All right, well, that's our episode. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. And here's the Bills win song, Sweeto.
Sweeto.
The Bills won.